Good morning, sixth grade. Today we are going to be starting lesson 4.3, and the topic is comparing and putting in order fractions, decimals, and percents. So our learning target would be is I can compare and order fractions, decimals, and percents. So while you are writing that down, let me go over what things you need to be able to do to be successful to complete your target. To be successful, I can rewrite a group of fractions, decimals, and percents using the same representation. That means I'm going to switch them all to fractions, all to decimals, or all to percents. To be successful, I can explain how to compare fractions, decimals, and percents. And finally, to be successful, I can order fractions, decimals, and percents from least to greatest. At this point, you should be done writing down your learning target, and we are going to move down to the exploration, and we're going to work on that together. So when I look at this first one, I see that I have 2 decimals and I have 2 percents. So right now, it doesn't make any sense to change them into fractions because why? Then I have to do more work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that this works either way. So I'm going to change them into decimals and I'm going to change them into percents. So to make 25 a percent, I'm going to move it here. So this is going to be 25%. This one's already a percent, but in order to make it a decimal, I need to move 2 away. So it's going to be 0.009. 40% is 0.4, because if I went 1, 2. And this one here, if I go 2, it's going to be 50%. So I'm going to put these in least to order, first by percent, and then using the decimal. Now when you do this, you only have to do it one way. I'm just showing you that it works out no matter which way you pick. So if I'm going to put these in order by decimal, 0.009 is first, or 0.9% is first, okay? Then I go to 25%, or comma 2.25 or 200ths. My next one is going to be 40%, or 0.40 if you want to write that down, because I know sometimes it's easier if they're the same numbers. And this one would be 0.50 or 50%. So it didn't matter if I did it as a decimal, they go in order and it went just like this, or if I put them in order by percentage. Either way, they're going to turn out in the same order, and that's where I got that one. The second one, we have some percents and we have some fractions. So they simplified our fractions. We can do it either way if we want to. I think I'm going to move them up into percents because percents are easier to look at than fractions. A lot of us get confused with fractions. And when we're going to compare fractions, we do have to have that denominator looking the same. And then that takes a lot of changing. So unless we'd have to move it all up to 100 anyway. So let's do this. And to make this one 100, I'm going to multiply times 25. And we know that 3/4 equals 75 cents. So 75 over 100. And any number over 100, I can just simply put a percent sign there. And if you notice, the 100 turns into a percent there. And then 20, if I make this 100, it is times 5. So I have 5 100ths, so this is 5%. So I have 0%, 75, 30, and 5. Looking at that, I think it's pretty easy. So I have 0%, 5%, 30%, and 75. So that's how I got those. If you wanted to just compare fractions, you could, but I would probably use this one, and this one would be 0 over 100. This would be 30 over 100. But either way, I had to change it to this in order to have the same number on the bottom so I can just compare to the top. So if I wrote this as a fraction, this would be 0 over 100, 5 over 100, 30 over 100, and 75 over 100. Personally, I think changing them to the percents was just an easier task to do because here, when I did this, I had to change them all. When I just changed the percent, I had to do 2. All right, so we have one more. And now they sent a bunch of stuff, but we do have 2 percents. So I know changing a decimal to a percent is pretty easy, and this has a 10 on the bottom. So I personally am going to change these all to percents because I just think for all of us it's going to be easier. So that's done. If I move this 1, 2, this equals to 12.5%. And then if I make this an equivalent fraction with 100 on the bottom, that's times 10. So 3 times 10 is 30. So that makes this 30%. So now I'm thinking all of us can put this totally into order from smallest to largest, and I have 12.5%, followed by 30%, followed by 75, and then finally 100%, the top of our way. All right, so that's page 1, and that was some of our practice. We only have 2 pages of notes today, which are pretty easy. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you try to do numbers 1 through 4. And I'm going to give you probably about 15 minutes or so. Teachers, you decide what your class needs. And I'm going to stop the video for you to work on there. If you get done with 1 through 4, because those are pretty easy for you, feel free to go down and fill in the answers for the 2 story problems that are there. And then I will post a second video that will have all the answers for these and then also go over your homework. So at this point, this video is going to end. I want you to work on this page for a little while. Don't worry if you get things wrong. We're going to go over them together. Thank you.